bata pa lang ako, I wanna dance for the world. Pero wala kaming pera. As in, zero. My dad was in debt. So sabi nila, okay, work for it. Tapos yun, at 7, nagbebenta ako ng insurance.
And how about your faith? Bata ka pa lang ba, natanggap mo na siya na parang it's very important to have like a strong faith?
I was 15 when it was clear to me na God was making me give ballet up. Diba Philippine culture, kung mababa grades mo, failure ka. So, syempre yun yung basis mo of self-worth as a kid. Eh ako, wala. As in, pero sa ballet, sabi ko, uy, I have the upper hand here. Which was painful kasi nung time na yon, feeling ko without ballet, walang kwenta yung life ko kasi
It's so crazy yung talon from like giving up, like your identity was the ballerina, to starting a startup.
my dad gave me a talk kasi sabi niya, ayoko ng bum ha, bawal tambay sa bahay.
Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec Cuenca and I am your host. And before anything else, thank you so much for being here on the show. Thank you so much for all the support. Finally, nag-grow na ang mga subscribers natin kasi nagsusubscribe na kayo or nagpo-follow na kayo kasi I think like 70 right now, mga 60% who are listening are not yet subscribed. But thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, you also click that subscribe button because we try to grow as much as we can here and we help more people through the videos. So hopefully click that subscribe button. Please do. It helps the podcast a lot. But yeah, thank you so much again for spending your time here. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been an avid listener of the show, then welcome back. I'm so excited for you to experience this podcast episode because today we have a guest that I have been meaning to invite because I am so interested in this topic and I've been wanting to talk about AI for a very long time, but I wanted to bring a fresh perspective into it. And I don't just want to bring in someone that, you know, knows AI, but is really living and breathing AI, you know, because this person is the founder and the CEO of Sophie AI. And yes, from that, you'll also know her name is Sophie. But she is such a bright woman that is inspiring a lot of people, but also just setting the tone when it comes to the AI revolution here in the Philippines. And I've met her once, and more than everything, she has just this, meron lang siya itong very curious and very vibrant energy. And I'm just so happy to have her on the show. So let's all welcome Sophie. Sophie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Super excited for our conversation today.
Yes. And fun fact, na-invite ko na yung daddy mo
Yes.
dito. Na-invite ko na rin yung uncle mo.
I know. The pressure and the standard is up there. So kinakabahan ako today.
Yeah. No, but I am so blessed that I have this opportunity to interview 3 from the same family.
Yes.
And I guess I wanna dive right into that. No? You guys are successful in like a lot of different ways in different industries as well.
Yes.
With your dad in the e-commerce space. Also, I'll link the episode down below. One of the best episodes that I've had. Yung tito mo or uncle mo is a pastor as well.
Yes.
Like really inspiring a lot of people. And here you are, like a startup founder and just really a trailblazer pagdating sa AI. How are you guys cultivated? Or paano ba kayo sa pamilya? Bakit parang ang achievers kayo? Or like,
Yeah.
can you share a little bit about that?
I think kasi growing up, I think both my uncle and my dad shared about their upbringing being Chinoy. And I think that's ingrained in us. Pero for me, yung generation ko, they were Christians already. So it was about stewardship. So, you know how they say, di ba, parang ikaw rin, you're the perfect example of someone who's very intentional to surround yourself with great, amazing people, wise people. So, siguro for me, it's a blessing na yung dad ko and mga aunties, uncles ko, they're very wise in their own ways. They don't always agree in everything, pero at the end of the day, parang getting their nuggets of wisdom. Tapos yun, right now, as someone who's young, who's exploring adulthood pa lang, you try to parang learn from their experience. That's
Yeah.
why I love small talks or yung mga podcast na ginato. Kasi that's where you learn Not just talking, pero listening. Isa
Yeah.
yun sa early lessons na tinuro ng dad ko. Sabi niya, palagi ka makinig sa usapan ng matatanda. Sabi ko, talaga? Like, kahit anong background or ganyan? Kasi, syempre, pilosopo, bata
Yeah.
ka eh. I think I was 6, 7 nung time na...
Really?
Wala. Okay.
Yeah.
Ayun. I was super young nung time na yon. Pero, because of that one lesson, I feel like me, my cousins, medyo, how would I say this? We value the people that we bring in. So, for me, swerte ko na I come from a family na very intentional.
Mhm.
And I think I do the same with my group of friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah, surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what's interesting is that you have a mind that is really, I could say, creative, but also open and just curious. Like, I saw a photo of you attending your dad's masterclass or like mastermind.
Yes.
Are you
Awesome.
always well, now ngayon na nasa business ka,
Mm-mm.
do you always take the time to spend time with your dad because your dad's just teaching this,
Yeah.
business lessons? Like, how intentional are you o gaano ka kakulit in terms of like, dad, sama mo ako dyan, gusto ko matuto yan?
Syempre ngayon, mas matanda na ako. So, ako na nag-i-initiate na, dad, sama mo ako dito. Kunyari may business trip, dad ko. Kahit hindi naman talaga ako kasama minsan. Dad, baka pwedeng tag-along. Kasi I believe na when it comes to life, it is not just taught, but it's also caught. So, modeling, sometimes kasi, when you're with someone, kaya sinashadow mo sila you don't realize it until later on or pag nag-step back ka na. Pero, napipick up mo yung habits nila, behavior nila, how they think, nakukuha mo yon. And, growing up, I was actually homeschooled.
Really?
So, for the first 17 years of my life, I did not attend school. Like, the concept of a classroom is just a concept. Pero hindi ko siya na-experience. So, my mom was the one who raised me. My parents did. So, growing up, similar to my dad, kasama nga ako sa mga meetings, pabantay nga ako ng tindahan. Iba pa yung business namin noong time na yon. And I guess that's also something na you can, parang pattern siya when it comes to a lot of people in your guest story. I really watch your show. Kasi diba, kahit sila Nicole, diba,
Yeah.
talagang okay, bata pa lang, bantay ka tindahan. Kasi it's caught, not taught. When it comes to business and life in general.
Yeah, I love that concept. It's caught, not just taught.
Yes.
And I think the underlying belief that I have is also that, kasi for me, I love like internships.
Yes.
I am a big fan of
I took
internship.
4 internships during my college years.
Talaga? Sabay-sabay?
I mean, hindi. Yung iba while
Yeah.
thesis, yung iba while may internship talaga ako.
Mm-mm.
Pero it exposes you And I always tell people na it doesn't always have to align with what you want in life. Pero yung simple exposure mo, you learn a lot Kahit
Yeah.
first internship ko was under HR. Pero kahit naging business owner ako, like my profession is not in HR, knowing how to handle people,
Yeah.
how to, di ko masabi judge them, pero kasi recruitment So
Yeah.
resume.
Like
so
filter them
parang
out.
filtering, getting to know them. What qualities do you look for when you're building a good team? Ayun.
Yeah. So one internship you did was under the HR. What was the
Yeah.
other 3?
Training and development. And then I did an internship with TikTok and Unilever.
Talaga?
Yeah, I was a
Ikaw
TikTok
ba yung-
intern.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you like pumunta ka doon, nagpasa ka ng resume? How was that process for you?
So, iba-iba per company. So, iba, most of them, I send emails or may portal sila. So, I just wanna put this out there kasi pinaghirapan ko talaga. Actually, for Unilever, 3 times ako nag-apply. So, parang talagang push yourself to parang get exposed. Even if parang feeling mo, send ako ng send na resume. Because I think a lot of interns looking for an internship, yun yung frustration. Palagi
Yeah.
nag-ghost ng company. It's so hard to get an internship.
Yeah.
Pero try ka lang ng try. And one day, tatama rin. And hindi ko naman inakala, at my third try, they'll get me pala.
Yeah.
So, exposure is good.
Yeah.
And you don't have to wait till college. Like if you're in elementary or high school, like you're never too young. Like I'm sure you hear this sa mga people that are here sa Small Talk na it starts young. Hindi lang siya formal internship, pero bata pa lang sila, they were doing this. Bata pa lang sila, they were curious about this. They were nerding out about this. So, ayun, having a learning mindset, learning never stops eh. So, habang bata and may energy ka pa, maximize mo na yan.
Yeah. And so for you, it was like really the internships at the college.
Mhm.
But I'm curious, you were homeschooled, right?
Yes.
Like how is that experience? Like can you just paint that picture for me? Because I have no idea how homeschooling
So
happened.
there's no blueprint. Kung anong trip ng magulang mo, yun yung gagawin nila.
Talaga?
Yeah, kasi you're homeschooled. Sila lang yung teacher mo.
Okay.
So,
Wala kayong sinusundan parang curriculum?
syempre may curriculum.
Mhm.
So, kunyari, we apply sa isang organization, tas they give us DepEd accreditation.
Mm.
Tapos, usually sa mga books naman may syllabus na.
Ah.
So, as long as you learn about XYZ, pwede na. Pero, for me, mas valuable, apart from the curriculum itself, was kaya believer ako ng exposure, was the practical lessons na my parents taught me. Most of my memories of being homeschooled wasn't studying. Pasaway ako na student hindi ako nag-aaral. Pero, yun, my dad, since wala magbabantay, or minsan sasama lang niya ako sa mga meetings niya. So, bata pa lang ako, ganyan pala mag-alok dad ko pag nagbebenta siya. So, he was a salesman. So, naalala ko as a kid, November, December, yun yung summer break namin. Hindi kami nag-aaral kasi kailangan namin magbantay ng stores. Ako, super introverted ko. So, kailangan magbantay ng tindahan sa mga World Trade Center, mga random tents sa Alabang or sa BGC.
Yeah.
Tapos sabihin, "Hi ma'am, would you like to buy?" Anything under the sun, feeling ko, nabenta na namin sa sobrang random. From power banks to rice, sandok ng kanin to chopsticks. So, sobrang random. Pero, ayun, at the age of 11, 12, wala, nandun ka, kailangan matuto ka, makipag-usap.
Yeah.
How do you become persuasive? How do you close a sale? Paano magpa-cute? Joke lang.
Talaga? Inaral mo natutunan mo na-expose ka na doon.
Yeah, kasi minsan
sige.
akala mo, okay, to be a good salesperson, kailangan features ang product.
Yeah.
Price war. Pero nakita ko, yung iba, ang galing magbenta. Ano lang, wala lang, malambing lang. Pwede. Okay, may ganung style pala. Yung iba, ito yung style nila. Kunin ko yan. And then, eventually, it becomes a part of you. And you learn from it.
Yeah, that's so nice. I mean, I've came across like the concept of sales after I started creating content. Now, before I was just creating content. So, nauna yung marketing side ko naman. And then I learned sales. I sold insurance before.
Actually, that's the first thing I sold.
Talaga?
At 7.
7? Nagbenta ka insurance?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us
Pero
about that
syempre,
story.
hindi ng magulang ko. So, noong time na yon, I mean, you guys know my dad's story. You'll link it down below naman. Pero wala talaga kaming pera. But I wanted to become a ballet dancer. Sabi ko, at the age of 2, bata pa lang ako, I wanna dance for the world. As in, yun yung ultimate dream ko, maging prima ballerina, gano'n. Pero wala kaming pera for dance classes. As in, 0, my dad was in debt. So, syempre, parang kung lubog ka na sa utang, wala ka ng dance class ng
Yeah.
anak mo, right? Education, tsaka anong time na yun, NFA rice nga kinakain namin. So like, wala talaga. Pero sabi ko, like, gusto ko talaga. So sabi nila, okay, work for it. So nagbenta ako ng insurance. Like,
Really? They said that to you?
yeah, so I remember, nasa kama kami ni mommy, tinuruan niya ako, okay, this is the amount, 1 year coverage, ganyan. Tapos, sinamahan ako ni mama, umikot kami ng Divisoria. Tapos, pinuntahan ko yung mga tindahan. Nung time na yun, mga kakilala naman, right? Yung mga kakilala, mga auntie, uncle. Tapos yun, at 7, nagbebenta ako ng insurance. And eventually, yung amount na yun was almost for my dance class na. So, sabi ng parents ko, sige, you really want it. And I worked hard for it. So, at an early age, na-instill rin yung value of money, hard work, and yun nga, palagi mo sinasabi, laway ang puhunan.
Yeah. I am curious about the lesson of money that was instilled sa'yo. For a lot of people, their lesson was really pain. But for you, I'm sure as a young kid, even though you're very observant and you're very curious, like you're really observing a lot of things. But ikaw, what was the lessons na ipinasa sa'yo tungkol sa pera na ngayon na talagang alam mo yung value niya even as a child?
I think, yun nga, parang even my parents were very transparent. No, we didn't have money. And I felt it as a kid. So, kahit mag-jeep kami, kailangan, nakakandong, 4 kami, kailangan, pang 2 lang yung sasakyan namin. So, as a panganay, mafe-feel mo yung pressure na, oh shucks, wala tayong pera. Pero my parents always reminded me na, at the end of the day, it's about stewardship. It's not about the amount sa bank account mo, pero what do you do with the talent and treasure and time that the Lord has given you? Yun yung 3 T's. Yun.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, kung binigyan ka ni Lord ng 1K, ano ginawa mo sa 1K na yon? If binigyan ka ni Lord ng 75 years, 80 years sa buhay mo, anong ginawa mo? So, at the end of the day, it's not about the amount, but yung concept of stewardship. What do you do with what God has given you?
Yeah.
And masasabi ba niya, well done, faithful servant, at the end of the day? Kasi you can be the richest person on earth, pero if hindi ka good steward of it, if you don't use it for the right reasons, ayoko na mag-comment, sorry.
Go.
Yun. But, kung tinatago mo lang for yourself, and syempre, at the end of the day, money is a tool, diba?
Yeah.
And it's an important tool that says a lot about a person. So, yeah, concept of stewardship.
I have so many questions.
Go now.
First is on the note of stewardship. Siyempre, bata ka eh. When was that value nakuha mo? Kasi of course, for sure, inuulit-ulit nila. Pero ikaw, on a personal journey towards stewardship, how did you come about it?
Actually, it's not that deep. May alkansya lang mom ko. Tapos yung alkansya na yon divided into 3. Church, savings, spend. Yun lang. So, okay, dapat ilang percent church, ilang percent save, ilang percent spend. It depends on the life stage and syempre the circumstance of a person. Pero it's super simple.
Yeah.
Pero feeling ko yun yung pinaka nag-click sa akin na concept na okay, kailangan when you're a steward of parang when it comes to money you allocate. Ganun.
Yeah. And how about your faith? Like with your personal relationship with your faith, how did you get to that point? Bata ka pa lang ba, natanggap mo na siya na parang, okay, faith ang, it's very important to have like a strong faith?
No.
Or like, what was that journey for you?
Yeah, so as a kid, I believed in God. And I would say I love God. As in, I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. 7 years old. Typical, kid. My mom, or 7 or 4, I don't really remember na. My mom was the one who shared the gospel to me. Pero yung faith to the point na, okay, iba kasi when you say, give your life to Christ, ini-equate nila to believing in God. Pero giving your life to Christ is literally giving it. And for me, that happened nung 15 ako. I mentioned I wanted to become a ballerina. So, may share ko ba sa podcast na to? So, growing up, I was homeschooled. My mom was amazing. My sisters, they're all doing well. One of my sisters is studying sa Singapore, SMU. Pero I sucked out of all of us. They grew up normal. I was delayed. So, noong time na yon, as in super baksak ako sa school. As in, palpak, wala nang future level. Pero, yun nga, I wanted to become a ballerina. So, yun yung naging drive ko growing up. Ballet was my passion, my identity, my purpose, and my future. Kasi sabi ko, if I'm not naturally smart, pagbaksak ako sa school, di ba Philippine culture, kung mababa grades mo, failure ka.
Yeah.
Kung mataas grades mo, good girl ka. Yeah. Like, you're gonna make it in life, maging doctor ka or whatever. So, syempre, yun yung basis mo of self-worth, di ba? Mm-hmm. As a kid, whatever grade you had. Ako, wala. So, kaya later na ako pumasok ng, compared to my batchmates, I'm a bit older. So, yun. Pero sa ballet, sabi ko, I have the upper hand here. Yeah. Like, I have the body, the natural look. Pero kasi may pagka, it's like a sport, but it's not a sport. It's a sport and an art form. So, di ba pag basketball, kahit magaling ka, kung 5'2" ka, wala kang future. Yeah. So, ganun rin sa ballet. You have to have that long neck, long arms, long legs, which I had. So, sabi ko, sisipagin ko na lang. But I was 15 when it was clear to me na God was making me give ballet up. Which was painful kasi nung time na yon, feeling ko, without ballet, walang kwenta yung life ko kasi, yun nga, baksak ako sa school. I super bad. I'm not sure kung gusto ko isama sa podcast.
Sige,
pero,
sure.
just to give you a glimpse, 2015, I was still in 5th grade. I was 15 years old na nung time na yun. Ilan? High school ka na nun?
13,
14,
14 second year high school.
Turning 15. Second year, third year high school na. I was still in 5th grade. So, at that age, syempre teenager ka na, aware ka na of the world. If you're still in 5th grade, wala ka na talagang future.
Yeah.
Kasi you can't even spell. Diba? Yung bare minimum basic, hindi ko magawa.
Yeah.
So, ayun. So, pero sa ballet, hindi naman was the best, but I had
that advantage.
That competitive advantage. Pati ang yabang pakinggan. Pero pati yung look, mukha akong pwede akong pang leading role, pwede akong mag-Sleeping Beauty or whatever. Like parang, not exactly, pero may chance. Like I had a fighting chance. So when the Lord asked me to give it up through different people, different reasons. Like, it was just super crystal clear na nung time na yun. Yung concept of giving my life to Christ, dun naging real. Kasi, para siyang, it's like God asking you, Alec, kung wala yung platform mo, wala tong co-create, wala tong business mo, parang, minsan, if you don't, parang, so sino ako? Wala na naman akong kwenta, gano'n. But, it was during that time na, I knew na, pag may ballet kasi, alam mo yung career mo, at this age, magiging ganyan ka.
There's parang certain level of certainty.
Yes. And by siguro 40s, I'll retire na. Like, may roadmap. So, nung time na yon, when I had to give that up, and I still sucked at what was conventionally measured
Mhm.
yung grades and academic standing. It was tough. Pero dun na pumasok yung faith na parang, okay, I'm sure even if I'm super unsure what will happen to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
I think it's one. It is parang yung homeschool pa nga lang. It really, of course, there's a lot of pros and there's also some cons as
Yeah.
well. But for you to also parang find yourself, and I think people, a lot of young people would also resonate na parang they thought that their life was gonna go this path, and then
Yes.
ni pala. Like for me, when I was entering into college, pag tinatanong ako ng mga tao or ng mama ko, parang, okay, ano yung course na kukunin mo? Sabi ko, wala talaga akong gusto. Tapos parang napunta ako sa engineering. So I was like, just, okay, go that default route. But first term ko pa lang sa engineering, bagsak na ako. So instantly alam ko na, like, this ain't for me. But still push through and tinry ko pa rin tapusin. But I just had that sense na parang I'm just in the wrong place. And I love your story because when you are faced with an opportunity or parang a scenario in your life where you have no idea what you're gonna do, that's when you become closer with, your relationship with Christ as well.
Yes, super.
Yeah.
And also, after college, when I started Sophie AI, I had no idea what I was
Yeah.
going to do.
So talk about that. I'm now curious. Okay, how did you get? It's so crazy. Yung talon from like giving up, like your identity was the ballerina,
Yeah.
competitive advantage, to starting a startup.
I know,
Like
right? I never knew I would be in tech.
Okay, like talk about that journey.
Yeah, so noong time na yun, going back to internships, during my last internship, that's where I realized that corporate wasn't for me. And I was in my last internship where so ano siya, nagtitesis ako while doing internship. Tapos my dad gave me a talk kasi gagraduate na ako. Sabi niya, ayoko ng bum ha. Bawal tambay sa bahay. Like, you have to have something going on even before you graduate. Like, walang gap year.
Okay.
So sabi ko, shucks, anong gagawin ko? And nung time na yun, I've always been interested in new technology. Whether it's, dati, parang nung high school ako, nauso yung mga digital banks. So, sobrang nag-nerd out ako tungkol sa mga ganun. Kahit interest rate lang naman yung chinecheck ko. And yung mga terms, parang, wow, this is so cool. This, I think, I remember nung lumabas yung GCash. I think more than 10 people yung ginawan ko ng GCash account. Ganun ako ka-advocate when it comes to tech. So, hindi ako techie growing up, pero I was like, guys, we can send money to each other ng hindi bank account, phone number lang. Tapos, syempre, may referral code yun. So, syempre, kaya yun yung motivation ko. Tapos, blockchain, naging uso rin siya. I also learned about that. And then, now AI. Pero when it comes to AI, ibang level of jump when it comes to tech. Like, hindi siya yung, from digital, like, bank to e-wallet. It was literally, wow, ang talino neto. And as someone who wasn't matalino growing up, I have the power. Parang I have everyone's knowledge at the tip of my fingertips. Pero I think when it comes to tech, a lot of people are doing it for show or, ay, ang amazing. Tas they forget about it. Hindi na nila iniisip yung practical use cases. So that's when I started Sophie AI. The tech was already there. People were already using AI to answer to customer service abroad. So may tech na available. So parang ako naman, okay, eto yung tech. How do we introduce it to the people? Diba? It's available na eh. And if you have something, pag may amazing, diba parang, gusto mo lang pag-usapan ng
naturally
pag-usapan.
gusto mo lang i-share.
Oo. So that's how I started Sophie. Sabi ko, okay, I want to help businesses. Alam ko here in the Philippines, super pain point natin ang mga chats. Kasi sa US, if may website, sa US, if may ad, you click on it, it leads to a website. That doesn't happen here. No one will check out.
Yeah.
Here, you see a post, nakasulat, 999, get yours now. Chat ka, HM po. Available po ba? So it's just our behavior. We like being assisted. So
Yeah.
syempre nagiging problem siya for a lot of businesses. So sabi ko, this is a good use case on how we can use AI.
Yeah.
They keep on saying na AI is a tool, right?
Yeah.
And when you have a tool that's so powerful, or kahit a simple tool, ang palagi kong ginagamit na sample is hammer.
Mm.
You don't buy a hammer because you think it's useful. You buy a hammer because you have a problem and it will solve your problem. So same thing with AI. Ang dami na overwhelm.
Yes.
Like, if you talk to mga business owners and even mga college students, no matter what age, they all know na they need to learn about AI. But there's apps going,
Yeah, every day
like
there's a
every
new
day
AI.
may new launch. So hindi nakaka-keep up yung mga tao. So na-overwhelm sila. So hindi na lang nila gagamitin.
Hmm.
So parang ako, you don't have to learn everything about it. Just focus on, okay, sino ka ngayon and how do you make yourself better, more efficient, more productive, more creative with the tools available.